So 2025 is coming to a close. I wanted to take a few moments to reflect on some things that have happened this year and to share some exciting things that I'm really looking forward to about 2026. Hello, my name is Brian Kennedy. I'm the mayor of Glendale, Wisconsin, president of Democratic Municipal Officials, and a member of the DNC. Follow me for local government Democratic Party content. When I started this channel back during the pandemic, it was a way of reaching my constituents beyond other forms of social media. And it allowed me to do some short form videos about, shutdowns, masking, vaccinations, a lot of the different things that were happening during that time period. And also to promote a lot of our local businesses that, needed to be able to survive during an incredibly tumultuous time economically. And throughout the next few years, I would sort of come back occasionally where I'd get a bunch of ideas and maybe do 10 or 15 videos over the course of a month and then kind of go silent for a while. This year, I've been really engaged and involved. And a lot of that has to do with this administration. You see, there's a lot that happens at the federal level that actually makes local government far more difficult. And so I spent a lot of time talking about the Trump administration because when they massively disrupt things at a federal level, it makes my job harder. It makes the job of school board members harder. It makes the job of city councils harder, of public health departments. And so I spent a lot of time this year making criticisms of the things that were being done by this administration. And I'm going to be clear, we've never had an administration do as much damage to the federal government in as short a time as this president and this administration have done. When this administration is over in 3 years, whoever takes their place can't put Humpty Dumpty back together again, right? Whoever takes over in a few years is going to be building an entirely different country because so much of what we have come to know of programs of the federal government and the way in which the federal government interacts with the states and cities is gone. I mean, it's not coming back. When you completely dismantle the Department of Education, move student loans out of the Department of Education, move special education programs out of the Department of Education, and slash funding to local school districts, for rural school programs and special education programs, you can't just, tape the pieces back together and pretend like all the damage hasn't been done. And so I've talked a lot about this administration this year because I felt so much at the local level that has made my job harder. Now, as we move into 2026, I'm actually really excited about a few things that I've been able to do behind the scenes this year. I wrote a book in 2025 called It's All Local, Saving Democracy from the Ground Up. And in that book, I argued that both national parties have broken messaging machines. And the way in which our messaging is done in the Democratic Party, the way in which the Republican Party does its messaging, is making democracy itself far more difficult. Let me be clear. I am a Democrat. I believe in the values of the Democratic Party. I believe the Democratic Party wants to help everyone. Even the people that don't vote for us should still be able to access all the programs and their lives should be better, right? The Republican Party, I think, is very self-serving at this point. Essentially, they're boosting the rich and trying to support this president and all the crazy stuff that he's done. But that being said, the messaging machines for both parties are broken. The Democratic Party hires $1 million consultants who focus group and A/B test and poll test messaging that doesn't defend anybody, but it's sterile and it's bland and it doesn't inspire anybody either. And we've stopped focusing on how you really build community and how you build political movement, which is at the local level. The Republican Party, on the other hand, also has top-down messaging, but its messaging is essentially, who do we hate this week? Is it immigrants? Is it trans people? There's always some group that they're targeting. Is it this particular celebrity because he or she said something? Is it a particular TV program? Is it the fact that people say happy holidays instead of Merry Christmas? There's always something to be angry about. That doesn't build community either. So when you have two messaging machines that essentially are failing to build community and to inspire people and to create cohesion, we need to start doing things differently. So my book is called It's All Local, Saving Democracy from the Ground Up, and it's being printed by Kohler Books and will be out in the middle of May. And I argue in that book that we need to engage in community conversations. We need to get people talking to one another again about what they have in common, not the many differences that divide us in our viewpoints and our values. Because you know what? When at the end of the day, most of what we want out of government is the same, right? We want our kids to be able to go to school, know that they're getting a good education, and that they're going to be able to come home safely from school. They're not going to be a victim of gun violence. We want to know that we can ride on roads that don't have potholes. We want to know that our borders are secure and that our men and women in uniform are actually being treated well and well paid and sustained and as they protect our country. We want to know that our parks are going to be clean and open and available, that we can take our kids there. We want to know all these different things that become a part of the fabric of our country are actually being supported and maintained and not destroyed. And so, as we engage in those kind of conversations, which is the purpose of my book, was to lay out a model for how we do that, we're going to find that there's a lot more that brings us together than separates us. And so I'm looking forward to being able to talk with you all over the coming months about the book. At the same time, I'm forming a foundation called the It's All Local Foundation, which is going to run community conversations across the country. And our goal here is to get people talking to one another, just like I outlined in the book, and to help them create their own community goals and objectives that they can take to their elected officials and demand that the people they put in office do what the community wants them to do. Instead of what one party or the other tells them they should be doing, they should be listening to their constituents. So when we teach people, one, how to talk to one another again, and two, how to advocate for themselves as a community, I believe we're going to be able to strengthen democracy significantly. So it's been a pleasure getting to know you and your comments, and I've responded to as many as I could. Really appreciate this opportunity to share what I have enjoyed and what I've been frustrated about as a local elected official and as a national Democratic Party leader. I also write a Substack on a daily basis, and I'm on all the socials. And you can find me on Substack. It's at Glendale Bryan, Mayor Brian Kennedy. I have my column there is called Conversations with the Mayor, just like the one you see here. It has the same little symbol that you see at the top there. And I'm on all the socials at Glendale Bryan, and Bryan with a Y, all one word. So look forward to hearing from you all on a variety of different mediums, and look forward to continuing these conversations into 2026.